back to Up for Debate, I should say, where three generations of family go head to head to head on a variety of topics. We got one Gen Z or myself, one Millennial, Noey, and one Gen Xer. I can't even say the baby boomer from Brooklyn. I miss saying that, honestly.
But I did too. Had a little zhuzh, little punch to it.
It did.
Yeah.
But hey, no matter what the topic, we can bet your by golly wow. Be up for debate. How we doing, guys?
Hey, buddy.
How we doing?
Sipping
on that yak. Sipping on that yak.
With water. Nature's juice.
Well, nature's juice. Well, before we start this episode, I want to preface it by saying that I am Jewish. Not just my name is Hebrew. Yes, my name is Hebrew. Chaya, aka Chaya, a derivative of L'chaim, but I am Jewish. DNA based and everything. So don't try to come for me on anything that is said in this show. Okay?
She put like a Semitic advisory warning in the beginning of
Semitic advisory warning? Because, all of a sudden now, because obviously what we're going to delve into is going to be based on
Judaism.
Yeah. And some of the topics that have been going on in the zeitgeist of today. And anti-Semitism is obviously at the forefront of most of the posts and the news cycles now. Whereas clearly anti-Black has been the pinnacle of everything that is going on in this country and then on the globe. But for whatever reason, that is an afterthought when it comes to the anti-Semitism. Because nothing happens and nothing changes and there's no consequences until there's an anti-Semitic comment and or statement made. But while we were talking about everything that's going on with Kanye, and we were talking about the politics that's going on behind the scenes, and obviously election day is coming up, but everything kind of meshes in together because as Black people and as Black Jews, I think that there is a real issue here. And I think Kanye in his niggerdom that he has exposed has just opened the floodgates for not only conversations, but to really show just how one-sided that media and the powers that be are.
I would think I know why that is. I would assume that the media or whatever media coverage goes into Ye's comments sway towards the Jewish side. And this is not just for this whole Ye situation, but in general, because they actually have economic power, like they own stuff. With us, our power comes in the consumer, from the consumer part or the consumer side of things, because we don't own anything. But we're one of the biggest consumers of pretty much everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So in terms of appealing to us, that really doesn't happen because there's really no consequence of not appealing to us. When there's a consequence of, or whereas the consequence of not appealing to Jews is they can strip you of whatever they've given to you because they pretty much own everything.
So is that basically justifying what Kanye was saying?
I'm not saying it's justified, but I'm saying that's more so an explanation as to why the media moves that way when it comes to, the two different factions.
Because on the Drink Champs interview and on the Chris Cuomo interview and on the Piers Morgan interview, on the Drink Champs interview, he specifically said, I can literally say anti-Semitic things and Adidas won't drop me. And like he dared them. And then Adidas dropped him. But then there was a post on the Shade Room from, I think it was Masika Kalisha, where she said that he was saying that he had a shitty deal from Adidas and he wanted to get out of it. And the only thing that he could have done to get out of it was what he did. So is he really crazy, or was he really trying to, push the envelope, or was he really just trying to get out of that deal?
I don't know. I mean, I'd have to see that first somewhere, like to be like official, like, yo, he was really just trying to get out of it. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, let me not say it makes sense. I can see why he would do that, because Adidas, like he is to Adidas what Jordan is to Nike. So for them, it's just like, we're not letting you go. But I think for him and just this entire discussion or his rant on Jewish people, I think one, if he knew that that's what he was going to do, then I thought he should have came with receipts on hand. Because he kept talking about like, yo, in the contracts it says this, and in the contracts it says this and here and there. If he would have been like, here it says Jewish people cannot be this and this and this, then it would have been like, oh, he's on to something. Whereas to most people, it's like, bro, you sound crazy because you're just going off on them, but you do this all the time. So nobody really knows what to believe. In a weird way, I don't agree with what he said. I honestly think that he got himself in hot water by making the statement, I can say anti-Semitic things and they can't do this and nobody can stop me. Because in reality, he wasn't saying anything that I would say is anti-Semitic until he started saying that. And then it was just downhill from there. He was just pointing out like, yo, they are at the head of everything. They run everything. They own this, they own that. But for most people who don't really understand it, I guess I'll crystallize and put it this way. For a lot of Black people who live in the hood, that white guy that knocks on your door one day and is just like, hey, I'll give you all this money if you move out of your house tomorrow. Usually Jewish. Usually gentrifying your neighborhood. Usually something that's going on.
Is that hyperbole?
No, because it's happened here to me mad times. So like, not only have I experienced it, mad people I know have experienced it. It's happened to my parents on Long Island. And it's just like, dude walks in.
And the person is of
No, I'm not saying that like I think they're Jewish. I'm telling you what I know after having conversations with them. Like, you talk to them, niggas be inviting you to church. Oh, come down to the, be like, nah, I'm not Jewish. Thank you. Oh no, it's great. Oh, we won't be in touch, bro. Like, we're not gonna be in touch. But just speaking to a lot of people about it and just kind of like just texting people, it's like, yo, what do you think about this? Yo, do people in your neighborhood do this? Yo, all the time. Like, yo, Cat was trying to gentrify and get us up out of this. So they was buying up all the stuff and just making it hard for us to live. Son, like, just trying to run us out. So there's that experience. And Kanye West is bringing light to it in this way. And Peter Rosenberg, Hot 97. He was he was just like, yo, Jewish people are at the head of everything. And we're at the head of everything because we were very intentional about getting into Hollywood and being at the head of everything. And, that's what we did on purpose. We trying to run everything. Like this, not my words. He said this on the radio. And to that, I'll say, well, what Kanye West is saying kind of goes hand in hand with that in this sense. 99% of music deals that are given out to Black artists are terrible for the artist, but it's profitable for the heads of the company, right? So you're not promoting your own music. You're peddling what most people would say is violence and sex and this from the Black community. So that's what you promote, but then the artist gets nothing off of it, and you make all this money leaving that person in debt until they figure out, oh, I've got to find a way to get out of this. So it's just like, I think of people like Viola Davis in a sense, like amazing, all the awards, all the accolades, has achieved a lot, but all of these Black actors and Black female actresses in Hollywood don't ever seem to get the same dollar, I'll say, as their white counterparts. But it's Jewish people at the head of these things as well. So in all of these different instances, you have Jewish folks at the head, admittedly so, by other Jewish celebrities, and then Black people to some degree, whether it's like, yeah, I'm getting $5 million, but you gave this dude $30 million for doing the same thing. So what is it about me why I'm not getting the same deal? You know what I'm saying? What is it with, how is Taylor Swift worth $400 million? And then, you know what I'm saying? These other artists over here, it's like this dude is worth the chain on his neck. You know what I'm saying? Like, how is it this person? So it's just, you can see the differences in the way things are run when it comes to Black people versus white people. Not saying that it's like a Jewish thing and all this other stuff. And again, every Jew's not terrible. Every Jewish person's not rich. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like every Black person's not bad and every cop's not bad. Like, it's just people who we're dealing with. But we hear this all the time from the industry heads themselves who are like, yo, these deals are terrible. And the majority of the people who you sign them to are Black. I think that's what Kanye West was trying to say. I just think he went about saying that in a terrible way.
I think my issue is that he went on a rant about George Floyd, about slavery being a choice, about Harriet Tubman didn't free the slaves, about white lives matter, about even after about the George Floyd thing, saying that white men are the most marginalized or the most marginalized people. And after the George Floyd interview, and he's done so much to the Black community, and it was never canceled. Never, nobody ever took anything away from him. But the minute he going DEFCON 3, whatever he said, about Jews or Jewish people, and that's when people started adding Adidas, saying, Adidas, hello, how much are you going to take? Adidas, where are you? You didn't come out. You didn't denounce Balenciaga. Where are you? Well, why didn't you drop him? But all the while, when he was denouncing us, when he was shitting on us, when he was doing everything on us, oh, it's fine. You still have your Balenciaga partnership. You still have your Adidas. You understand what I'm saying?
100%. Because all them people with H&M and Gucci and all these people who, oh, they made this racist bag and they used this, and it's just like nobody knew this stuff was going on, or he said this and they did that. And I didn't hear anybody talking about losing deals, losing sponsorships, firing anybody, or anything going wrong. And we got a simple apology. We apologize, you know what I'm saying? It was in poor taste. We'll do better. Thank you. That's usually what we get. So I totally agree with that. I 100% agree with that. And then he brought up the Holocaust and all that other stuff, which that is the one thing that's actually interesting that's actually come up, is because when slavery comes up, it's a problem. And then when he started talking about the Holocaust, I was just like, so slavery was our choice, but the Holocaust was, it's just like, I don't understand the logic, because it's kind of like the same thing in a different way.
Slavery was over 400 years.
And here's the interesting thing about it. So for those who didn't know, the Holocaust didn't actually happen in America. Slavery did.
It did not. It did.
But all right, let's get into it. All right. So this is what I never understand, because when people talk about the Holocaust, you would have thought the Holocaust happened here.
Here.
So listening to like Rosenberg on the radio and all this other stuff going on, listening to Michael Rappaport and all this other stuff, it's just like all of a sudden, all the Jewish people are fearing for their life because, you know, the Nazi people on the bridge said
In
Kanye
LA.
was right. It was just like,
Mhm.
yeah, that's whack. Totally whack. 100% whack. And Kanye brought that and did that to himself. However, and I'm not going to hold Michael Rappaport or Rosenberg to this standard, because when things happen with Black folks, there are two people who actually do speak up on behalf of Black people.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of others who I've heard that don't. And so now it's just like, so Kanye West said one thing and all of a sudden everybody's fearing for their life because of the Holocaust. I'm telling you what people have said to me, what I've read, watched, and listened to. And I thought it was very interesting because I'm like, so we're bringing up the Holocaust now as a trauma thing because Kanye West said something. But anytime Black folks refer to slavery, Jim Crow, segregation,
And none of them actually endured the Holocaust. Just the same way they say we didn't.
100%. So now I look at it in like a deeper sense. And I'm like, well, y'all got reparations. As a matter of fact, the US played a major part in y'all getting reparations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I put like, what's going on here? Like, what am I missing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what am I missing on behalf of Black people who actually suffered on the soil here? I'm saying, where's the reparations for that? And again, I'm not going off on Jewish folks or anything like that. I love everybody. I'm just speaking to the facts of the reality of the way things are playing out. I think it's interesting. So if you go back to the war, like America was very hesitant to even get involved in as far as going over to Germany and actually rescuing Jewish people. Because it's kind of like, we don't really want to get involved because there's a lot of stuff going on in America. Like, bro, we coming out of a recession. You know what I'm saying? Niggas is dealing with dust storms and all types of extra stuff, and the economy is crazy. So it's like, yo, we don't really want to get in the war. But then, hey, you know what? Pearl Harbor happens, and America is just like, yo, Allies versus Axis. We with the Allies. It's on. So now,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? Heading over to Germany, and we about to get busy with it. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, yo, Japan, Germany, Italy, it's on. Like, we want the smoke. America has made, like, I don't know if y'all ever read stuff about it. Like, America made such a big deal about them going to Germany and rescuing people. Like, when you read about it, it's like, we went there and we did this in America. And it was just like, great, that's fantastic, bro. I'm happy that you helped them. But what about the people here? Because that's where my head is at. I'm like, through all of this, listening, talking to, just hearing Jews constantly fearing for my life, the Holocaust happened, that was a real thing, and all this other stuff. I hear you. But you know what I see? I could drive down Eastern Parkway, you know what I'm saying? And all of a sudden it's just like, oh yeah, it's kind of rough out here. It's rough out here. And as soon as I cross over Ralph Avenue, it's just like I'm in a whole new place. It's just like, wow.
They have their own
Y'all got your
ambulance, they have
own
their
stuff,
own hospitals, they have their
everything.
own
I'm
everything,
just like,
own schools.
I'm like, yo, y'all are getting it crazy. And it's just like, I can't understand why it's like, I can't understand why it's so hard for people to see the same things that you see right now for Black people. Why is it so hard to fire somebody? Yeah, great, they apologize. But why is it so hard to make folks take account? Yo, Kanye West said something on Monday as a billionaire worth $2 billion, and by Wednesday was worth 500 million.
That's all I'm saying.
Like, he was worth $2 billion on Monday, and on Wednesday he was worth 500 million because he said something about Jewish people, which was totally wrong. And to be honest, he did it to himself. I'm not defending Kanye West. I'm just trying to draw this line, like just trying to put these things side by side and figure out, why is it not the same for everybody? Why is it not the same? Because we've heard, as I've said, and as I've mentioned, we've heard Jewish celebrities talk about them being intentional in getting into Hollywood and entertainment and being the heads of these things, yet you are profiting off of the Black dollar. But what are you actually doing for Black people? Where is your defense of Black people? Where are you taking care of the artists? Why are all of these artists going through what they go through? I don't even know what Jewish music is called, but I don't hear it on the radio. I'm just confused by that. So it's almost like you won't, so it's almost like you use me to get what you want, but you won't support me if I ask you to. Or if I need you to. Because I'm sure when they put the blackface dude on a shirt over at Gucci, I'm sure people were in the room who made that decision. Did they lose their job? Doubt it. And if they did, I ain't hear about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure when they put that little boy in a t-shirt that said the coolest monkey in the jungle, I'm sure the people didn't lose their job over that. Like, yo, I'm honestly, again, what Kanye West said and did and the arrogance behind it is indefensible. But at the same time, or on the flip side of that, it's like, yo, I'm tired of seeing the same things happen to Black people that happens to white people. And we get an apology, and then like they get exactly what they wanted. Like, bro, they took, I mean, granted, $500 million is still a lot of money. I ain't gonna sit there and act like it ain't, but it ain't 2 billion. And that was just in a couple of days. Because when people want to make you feel them, they will. Interesting to me that it's just like all I kept hearing over the last few days was Holocaust, 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 Holocaust. Didn't even happen in this country, but that is your reasoning. That's why everybody said we fear. That is the reasoning that I heard. That Rappaport said it, Rosenberg said it on the radio. The Holocaust is a real thing and it can happen again. Okay, so you fear for your life because you believe the Holocaust that didn't happen in this country can happen again. Okay, but in 2009, I didn't hear anybody talking about Black people and the law that was written that gave Black people the right to vote. I didn't hear anybody talking about that law expiring in 2009, because I remember talking to my brother about it, and I was just like, yo,
and how they
are
just, they weren't trying to pass it. It was just like, you would have thought that we was asking for 40 acres and a mule.
Like, it's crazy. Can't get an anti-lynching bill passed. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm listening, and no disrespect, but it's like I'm listening to people speak on the Holocaust, and last year, Black folks was hanging from trees in Texas and in Florida, if I'm not mistaken. Like,
and we still get killed by slave catchers.
Like, I'm confused by that.
AKA police with no, with what is it, impunity.
I just, it's something that I don't think I would have thought about it in this way if this Kanye thing didn't happen. Just, I think seeing how quickly, I don't even think there's so much that it happened, but how quickly action was taken when it was just like a day or two later, it's just like Kanye West, no longer a billionaire, loses $1.5 million after losing the Adidas deal. It's just
we'll show you like, better than we can tell you.
What? Like, not only are we cutting ties, we're not paying you any money. Like, you can do that? You just, we ain't giving you no bread. Like, what? Like, you can't even terminate your lease early without having to pay extra money. You can come out of a multi-billion-dollar contract for somebody who's made $2 billion. Yo, the Jordan brand makes like maybe $3 to $6 billion for Nike annually. Kanye West was doing $2 billion, and Jordan's been out since like '86. And he just got to that $3+ billion a couple of years ago. Kanye West been around. Yeezy's been around how long? A few years now. Ain't been that long, and he's already at $2 billion. So to me, it's just like they wanted to make an example out of him, and I don't think you will ever see again. Kind of understand what he was trying to say. Totally went about it the wrong way. But the mere fact that he went about it the wrong way, I think is going to keep a lot of other Black folks who might have had things they wanted to express down the line when things happen. Dude's just going to be quiet. My man lost billionaire status in 48 hours. I didn't even know you could. I don't even know how. Like that, it's insane to think this dude was a billionaire Monday and not on Wednesday.
Not even a full week.
Like, because he said some words that you could apologize for. Like, he didn't say he wanted to kill people or he wanted to do bodily harm. He was just saying, like, yo, to me, what he was really trying to say is, I want Black people, whether you can say he had his own agenda or whatever, he was really just saying, I want Black people to look at what the Jews are doing, copy that, follow that, and see if we can get on the same page as that. But he was also just trying to, pull their card a little bit and see. I just thought he should have came with the receipts. He should have had that paper out there with or the contracts or whatever that said, yo, this is what it reads. This is how they move. I'm not making it up and I'm not crazy. I'm telling you. But we've heard enough stories, but I never really paid attention in the sense where it was like, oh, it's, Jewish people who are running these companies. I never even really realized that until Rosenberg admitted that and said it on the radio, until Rappaport talked about it, until other folks, other Jewish celebrities said it. And I was just like, oh, so this is how they move. Like, this is intentional.
They canceled Nick Cannon. They canceled Wildin' Out when he had Professor Griff on his YouTube show. They canceled Wildin' Out, which was probably one of their biggest rated shows on VH1. Canceled him. And they had to take him back because I guess they realized, oh, we need you. Remember, they canceled Whoopi Goldberg from The View. They put her on a timeout. Whoopi the Goldberg, okay? Because she said that the Holocaust was not about race. And when she at first said that, I was just like, I don't know why she would say that. But when I thought about it, it wasn't about race. Because the Nazis and the Jews were the same color. Jewish is not a race. But because of the fact that they have, for whatever reason, there's no place on earth called Jew. There's no country on earth called Jew.
Mm-hmm.
There was a Judea back in the day, but Judea does not exist anymore. Now, unless you were from Judea, that's the only reason, that's the only way you would be able to say that you were Jew or Jewish. Now, I'm just going by geographically. Now you can say whatever you want and don't try to come for me because, like I said, I am Jewish. But the Holocaust was about religion because the Nazis and the Jews were the same skin tone. So when she said that, everybody was coming for her on Twitter. How could she be so insensitive? She hurt me by saying that it wasn't about race. Jewish is not a race. But because of the fact that they have made it a race, even though it is not a race, it is a religion, there is no country. You cannot come from a country named Jewish. No matter, there's nowhere on earth, even back in the biblical days when it was Jew nor Gentile, there was no place that you came from that was called Jew.
Which is actually interesting because I was watching the new season of Love is Blind. Show is popping, by the way. So this white dude goes to meet his his fiance's family. So he's just like, yeah, so you guys are Jew, but he's like, you guys are Jewish and all and whatever. And her dad is like, yeah, he's like, I guess like we're Jewish like by religion. He's like, nigga, that's not my race though. Like we're Israelites. So I was like, when he said that, I was like, as you were just saying, like there's no place called Jew. Like it's like when you think about it, it's like, yeah, I understand why people reacted to Whoopi Goldberg the way they did, but looking at it deeper, it's like, yeah, it was about hatred of that particular group of people who were from that specific religion, who didn't have blonde hair and blue eyes and look like everybody else, and what I'm saying, the Aryan race or whatever that he was talking about, like just picking out a group of people. That nigga hated everybody who wasn't like him. Let's just call it that. But it ain't like there's mad black people out there.
Exactly. You didn't see a whole bunch of brown people in Germany.
And just on another note, in that same war, when the United States was, fighting the Germans and rescuing Jewish people, there were black people from the US who were also fighting in a war for rights they didn't actually have themselves when they came back. But that's neither here nor there. So it's just, I mean, think about it. Really? Like, we're gonna go rescue these people, come back home, and then you're gonna help them with the reparations and get them situated. So we were slaves, fought in this war, rescued people who weren't from here, bring them here, you're gonna help them, but not us. And then look at us crazy when we're like, hey, what about us? So it's kind of like, it wasn't that long ago, all right? My dad was born in 47. The war was in 45. My grandfather was there. And that nigga Jamaican. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it real. But I'm just saying, all of these things tie into the way people, like, it's history. And then you got idiots like DeSantis talking about, well, we don't want to teach kids that America was built on stolen ground. Well, nigga, it was.
So you don't want to teach the truth.
So again, you want to erase history. You want to erase the truth in history. I don't even want to call it Black history. You want to erase the truth about Black people in history. Everything else can stay. Yet I got to listen to people talking about the Holocaust can happen again and we fear for our life, when I'm literally listening to somebody that a bunch of people support talk about he wants to erase history, the history of Black people in real life.
And
over white kids feeling guilty.
We actually see that slavery can easily happen again.
In what way?
Slavery never ended. It just shifted it to jails.
Yeah.
Not in the classical sense.
Yeah, not in the classical picking cotton, but that prison industrial complex is still alive and well. And
how do you have privately funded prisons?
Who makes up the majority of the prison system in America? You just traded in cotton for license plates and whatever else, whatever other company benefits from whatever prisoners make in jail.
Think about it like this. I can't remember his name. The lawyer from, you've seen the movie Just Mercy. He runs the
yeah.
His name is Brian.
My man Michael B. Jordan played.
Justice for what is it? The EP, the East. It's slipping my mind at the moment. This dude literally works at getting people off of death row.
Mm-hmm.
If you go and look up the numbers, what is the equal justice opportunity? Equal justice.
Don't forget about them.
And it's
Don't forget
if
about
you
them.
look at how many people they get off of death row who were there falsely, who didn't have trials, who were, you know what I'm saying, like just falsely imprisoned for whatever the reason, or held for, you know, without a trial for far too long, whatever it is. Like, bro, this isn't even like, oh, we made a mistake reading the name. It's like you are holding people on death row. Like you killing people. I don't even want to say accidentally. Like you're just like there's no way that you get it wrong that often. Where it's like, yo, I get off 2 out of every 4 people who I help.
That's crazy. So the Holocaust, they have a number of how many people were murdered grotesquely by the demon spawn of Hitler, or who Hitler was, and everybody that helped him, all the Nazi sympathizers. The Holocaust was atrocious, and none of us agree with the Holocaust. But because of slavery and everything that happened subsequently after the lynchings, the riots, the massacres that have happened that were never even reported, we don't even have an accurate count of how many people, the people that were thrown overboard at sea. We don't have an accurate count of how many people we've lost because of their disregard for our lives. The mass graves of just bodies. We don't even have an accurate count. Is it 50 million? Is it 70 million? Like, we don't even know. And that is part of the insane injustice, and the fact that Candace Owens and Kanye and their dumbosity talking about white lives matter, we don't even have an accurate count of how many Black lives we've lost.
Facts.
We have a white man in, I think it was Missouri, that was literally killing women, holding women hostage in his basement in a dungeon, and it never made primetime news. The disregard for Black life in this country is unfathomable. Operation Paperclip, after the Holocaust, the CIA went and brought over the Nazis, the Nazi scientists. What?
In Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, the
one that they banned?
They banned it because he said he learned his tactics from the US. That's why he banned it. The way he treated Jewish people and how he went about his thing, they wrote it in his book. I learned that from Yauni's.
He did.
Like, come on, man. Like, how often do you go to places and you're like, oh yeah, it's Independence Day. And you look it up and you kind of look at what happened there. Oh, it's Thanksgiving. You look at what happened there. It's Columbus Day. And you look at what happened there. And you just like, yo, what are we celebrating? Like, what are we celebrating? And then you go say, like, I can't understand it, yo. Like, and it's just like, you got the, yo, people better get out there and vote in these midterms. I'm telling y'all, all y'all folks better get out there and vote, man. Y'all got a lot on the line.
They don't think so.
There's a lot on the line.
They don't think so.
Your climate, your women's rights.
You got a whole bunch of
states right now that are looking at essentially, I'm just saying, take away women's rights all together. So
We got a
Same.
whole bunch of January 6ers that actually invaded the Capitol that are on the ballot, that actually are running and won their primaries. But
Stop. And these country folks in the middle that coming from the walls of nowhere, like, yo, Trump don't care about y'all. Neither does DeSantis. None of them niggas care about y'all. None of them. They don't.
DeSantis's pants right up between his crotch.
Dumb funny. That little bunch up.
His pants bunch up in his crotch when he walks.
In the back or the front?
Both.
That's great.
Ted Cruz, all of them, like them niggas don't care about you.
He got to do the double pull to get it out. He got to do the he got to do the to get it out.
That's dumb funny.
Yeah, so you got the CIA bringing over the Nazis and whitewashing their records to help with the Cold War. Was it the Cold War or the World War?
World War.
World War. You right. Come on, historians. So you got them bringing them over, whitewashing them. So you bringing over the Nazis. Hate the Jews, hate the blacks, and then you have the Jews that say, okay, well now I'm going to now infiltrate the different avenues so that I can gain power or, build wealth or so then you have those ones like Noey was saying that the Rosenberg and the Rappaports was talking about that do want to be in positions of power within the industries that directly affect us. Now, I don't know if it's a coincidence, but NWA's manager, Jerry Heller.
That was gonna be my next one.
My Jewish brother. Y'all already know how I feel about NWA and how that was the group that started pushing that type of rap. Like we already had the we had the hip hop and the rap, but when it came down to NWA, that took it to a whole nother level. And that's when we started with that type of rap. And that's when us talking about killing each other, us talking about bitches and hoes and all of that stuff was fine. That's when everything became fair game. So we can talk about killing each other. We can talk about murdering our mother. We can talk what Biggie said about he'll eat a baby. What he said? What's that lyric Biggie said?
You said Biggie?
Biggie, yeah.
We don't have to go into cannibalistic lyrics.
Huh? No, I'm just saying. But all of that was fine. Talk about Nelly swiping the credit card up the chick's booty,
that wasn't a fire bar.
Chicks just walking around naked. Shut up.
Swiping the card wasn't a fire bar.
Shut up. So now women walking around scantily clad and big booty hoes, oh, me so horny, all of that suggestive stuff all of that is fair game. Us sexualizing everything and criminalizing each other and talking about us on the streets, all of that is fair game. All of that is what's up. Killing each other is fair game. But you talk about a Jewish person, you talk about like C's from Black Ink Crew. Black Ink Crew, they done fought each other. They done called people bitches and hoes. They done some of the nastiest stuff on the show to one another, Black people. But they got him on video abusing a dog. They cut him off of that show, and they was just like, VH1 has cut ties with Caesar. Now he was on that show for 10 years, fighting, cussing women, slapping, throwing chairs at people, punching people. But he hit a dog, and they were just like, VH1 has cut ties with Caesar. So even a dog's life is more important.
Facts. Which is crazy. I mean, when you think of it, and that kind of is just like, again, as much as I disagree with the way you went about it, I think everything we're saying, and I might be giving Kanye West a little bit too much credit because he be all over the place. I just think with his rant in all these different places, these were things that he was trying to say. He just didn't know how to say it. But then he'll turn around. But then he'll turn around and be like, white men have it so hard because if he says something to you, it's this, and if it's then it's in the white light. So you kind of just like, I don't really know.
You need more people.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
look, I was with you.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, nah, man, I like the George Floyd thing. Like at some point, it's just like, yo, bro, enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm just looking at the repercussions of what he said. Like, again, it didn't physically harm anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's really be real. Donald Trump ran a campaign for months. For months, he did what Kanye West did on Drink Champs. And 75 million people voted for this nigga. And are gonna vote for him again if he runs next year. He did the same thing. The only difference was he was talking about,
look at the blacks.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the only difference was he was talking about Hispanics and Mexicans and black people and all that other stuff. That's the only difference.
They bring their junk, their trucks and their guns.
So it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I want to say it shows you the power structure, but it's just like, to me, it's like you in the corner just sitting there like, what about us, bro? Like, stop. Like y'all trying to.
These marched at Charlottesville and said Jews will not replace us. Trump said there's fine people on both sides. People still loved him.
It's crazy. And again, there's whack, shady, hateful people out there. The neo-Nazis, the alt-right, you know what I'm saying? Like the hardcore right-wing niggas. Like, we know that there's whack people, DeSantis, you know what I'm saying? The Abbott, you know what I'm saying?
Call DeSantis honey bunches of oats.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just like, yo, there's shady, whack people out there who are politicians and whatever, and people in power. Again, y'all niggas better go vote. Go vote. Shout out to Francis Beto O'Rourke. You know what I'm saying? Making a comeback out there in Texas.
Beto?
You know what I'm saying? Beto.
Listen, I hope because I can't stand Abbott. I can't stand Abbott.
Who's that?
Catch it up.
He's the governor of Texas.
Beto, I believe. Yeah, governor of Texas.
Abbott is the governor of Texas, but Beto is the dude that ran against him in the last election and he lost. But Beto had
he was within 2 points.
Him. Texas is now brown.
Thanks.
In terms of Kanye, though, moving forward and this whole anti-Semitism thing, or whatever he plans to say next or doesn't say. The issue with him is that one, he is a marketing genius, but he also suffers from mental illness. So you can never really.
Yeah, there's nothing genius about this.
But that's the thing. You can.
But I feel what you're saying.
But you know what I'm saying? It's just like he gets results with whatever he does. You can call him crazy.
True.
You can.
He's in the
he gets
forefront.
Results. He's not a billionaire by accident. Like he has mental illness.
He's not a billionaire.
Well, not anymore, obviously. But in terms of getting to where he got, like to garnish that level of power, you know what I'm saying, and be considered crazy, like, you know what I'm saying? Whether you like it or not, he gets results from what he does. So it's a toss-up between deciphering whether or not this is a mental breakdown or.
But what does the nigga really do?
In terms of what? That's a pretty vague question.
I mean, he does his music thing, and you know, if people want to call him a fashion icon, more power to you. I'm not going that far. But I mean, people loved him because they loved his music and what he was about when he originally came out. But even that, as he said, the people who he was stealing the style of, he didn't even like them niggas. But, you know, he released a sneaker. People loved it. It was exclusive. And, you know, black folks love exclusive. So it's just like, oh my gosh, I got to go buy these $10,000 sneakers when they were on Nike originally, insane prices. And then now he's over here with Adidas doing whatever he was doing. And it's like, oh, we got the Yeezy boost and he's selling sneakers. But I mean, what has the nigga really done of substance since, like, the music? Because for the longest, the nigga's kind of been up and down. Maybe just connecting to the Kardashians keeps you in the spotlight, and you know what I'm saying, it looked like for a minute he was winning, you know what I'm saying, had the happy family.
If that's what I'm pretty sure he's been doing fashion or getting into that bag because
that Balenciaga.
Because that's the same route that Rihanna took. Because think about this. Nobody cared about Rihanna's next album before she had bread. After that, after that,
all Rihanna's albums.
After that album, with work on it, Anti. Nobody's really looking for her music until she got with Fenty. And then people were calling her like the queen of, you know, whatever. Like she wasn't regarded like that before she got with Fenty.
But the thing with her and Fenty was because white people, for lack of a better way of saying it, had MAC and Sephora and everything. And Fenty was like, this is for us. This is for black people.
No, but I'm using that
color
as an example.
No, I feel you. But it was such a big deal. The way Kylie's lip filler thing is such a big deal for white people. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for little people, little kids and stuff, or whatever the case may be, it was just like, yo, this is for us. Like, it's for us. It's great. We love it. It's all these fantastic things. For me, it ain't mean nothing because obviously I don't do anything with Fenty. So, and if I did, probably be a problem. But it's just like
your wife.
No, she could do stuff with Fenty. I ain't rocking Fenty. I mean, does Fenty even have a men's line?
I think so.
I think they do have some men's stuff.
Oh, she got some men's. Well, let me see. Put my sexy behind in something. I'm about to get
if you notice,
silkies.
If you notice, well, the connection with Rihanna and Kanye is Jay.
Oh, yeah.
And like he had said on the Kevin Hart interview, that he taught them the blueprint. And both of them became billionaires.
No, I feel you. I'm just simply saying, like, I can see how.
Now, Kanye didn't know how to hold on to it.
Like, I see how Kanye like got in, and just because even when he was talking about it, it was just like, yo, I met with the Balenciaga. I don't know what he did with all the people, but to me, it's just like, I don't know if he had a hand in designing any of those. I find 99% of the stuff that Balenciaga releases to be hideous. That's me personally. I'm not in the culture of I'm buying stuff just for the name on it. Hey, if I don't like it, I don't care how much money I have, I'm not buying it. And regardless, like again, like what he's doing is indefensible. I just can't figure out like why I feel like they keep putting him on TV knowing it's gonna get worse each time.
But they want those ratings. The media is a sick industry. They want those ratings. That's the same reason why Noey was like, yeah, we're gonna put it on. And that's why he went on the apology tour afterwards.
It's sad. Like just to see what's happened to him.
Like, we gonna get these numbers.
But
Diddy was like, take that, take that, take that.
And it kind of like what's weird in all of it too is like, I'm kind of thinking like, yo, where is Jay-Z in all of this? Like, you know what I'm saying? You have no problem rapping about creating the billionaires and the people who this and that and how you taught them this stuff. Well, where are you at now? Like, where is the mentorship? Because Jay-Z, what, 50? Like, where are you in all of this? Like, are you talking to him? Are you helping him?
I don't know. I don't know if Hov could get through to him. I don't think anybody get through to Kanye at this point.
He could.
Unless
only because of how he talked about it.
Couldn't get through to him.
Yeah, it's Kim Kardashian.
Got like 3 to 4 kids with Shorty.
But he wasn't, I think he truly I think he wanted to be with her and stuff, but I think a part of him also wanted to be with her for who she was. Like, again, that family to some degree represents like, we want to live Black without the consequences of Blackness. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to do everything Black people do. Like, when did being a thick, curvy girl become cool? When they started doing it. Black women been like that since day one, though. These niggas tried to talk about how they started like braids, or like she had braids one time and tried to say something.
Talk about the new boxer braids. They bring in.
Like, you trying to take ownership of stuff that been in the community since, you know what I'm saying? Like, Celie had them drinks. And before all of that, he was with Amber Rose. So, I mean, no disrespect, but the nigga's choice in women, a little spotty. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing to me that all those so-called lovers of Kanye who, oh, Kanye's our guy and whatever. And I know he spoke about some of it on Drink Champs and said whatever. But all those people, awfully silent now. You know what I'm saying? Like, did people go see him in Wyoming? Are people checking on him?
I mean,
who's
we don't
calling?
know what conversations are being had.
I'm just saying, based on what he said on Drink Champs. That's what I was saying. Like, how he talked about everybody who's not rocking with him now. Just saying, like, where's everybody at now? Because they asked Dame about it on the red carpet the other day. That nigga was on some old like, I just think you need to whatever, but I don't really want to talk about that. Okay.
Who, Dame Dash?
Yeah.
I know that we're going to have to start holding people accountable the same way, because if Black people are the richest, the Black Americans are the 10th richest nation in the globe, but yet we don't own nothing, we got to get it together sooner rather than later. I don't want to hear nothing about no people of color. I'm talking about Black people. I'm talking about African descendants of slaves. I'm talking about people that have gone through the muck and the mire. That's who I'm talking about. The people that was promised for 40 acres and a mule. That's what I'm talking about.
Got the mule.
I'm talking about people.
So we got the mule. I ain't seen that 40 acres yet.
So we got the ass. We ain't get no mule. We ain't get no mule. We got the donkey.
What are the Gen Zers saying about this?
I mean, we're not a very informed generation, so most of our comments are just on his mental health. Not really, at least from what I've seen, whenever I frequent Instagram, which is not very
So, haters, let us know what you think.
about
Keep
Yeezy.
it right down there in the comments. This is a lot. Peloton drops Kanye West music from platforms. Adam shows removes Kanye West public figure from the museum. TJ Maxx, I didn't know that they had Yeezys with them, but they cut ties with Yeezy.
I think it's a little much.
But anything he said about us, your product still stays in our stores.
We don't own nothing.
I won't say that we don't own anything. I'll say that we don't own nature. Like,
Well, when it comes to having power in society, we don't own
Yeah.
anything.
yeah, it's
We don't
nothing
own anything.
super powerful. But hey, people are paving the way, man. And so Tyler Perry got on that joint and said, "Hey, who needs Universal or Paramount or with Warner Brothers? Just go do this thing myself." That's pretty much where black folks been filming their movies. Down in Atlanta.
That's where
Everybody
Marvel
just-
filming they movie.
Facts.
He has the
Oh.
largest lot in America.
That's the start.
He got the
It only
largest
takes
studio.
one.
We need to talk Tyler Perry.
Hey Tyler.
See what he doing. Like Diary of a Mad Black Woman was great, but I didn't think it would have got him to
Billions.
to be honest.
It started off with the Chitlin circuit with him
Mhm.
doing them plays and
Mhm.
going around the country doing those plays. Because I know every time he came to up east, we went to see them plays at the Beacon Theater and selling them DVDs, selling them divdas. We got all them divdas.
Preach, preacher.
Say it.
Well, no
Take it-
matter what the topic is, you can bet your by golly wow debaters that it's gonna be up. Or, oh yeah, debate. We'll see you next time.
Leave it in the comments.